Okay, so I'll just a very short introduction to probably those who didn't join the first day of the webinars. So if you missed the first webinar, this event is actually dedicated to the Full Access Festival, where we give the full access to all advanced capabilities within YouScan to our loyal clients. So within the entire month of May, you guys have a chance to get the access to any of the additional functionality that we have in YouScan. Sorry, just 1 second, my presentation doesn't work. Okay, yeah. So to any of the tools that we have in YouScan, which is actually bigger than this list, but this is just the second part, which we will talk today. But along with the data sampling, custom dashboards, API, and Insights Copilot, we do also have other features such as visual insights, audience insights, audio monitoring. So speaking about the event that we have today and the topics that we will discuss today, it's more about like reporting part of the tool and getting the insights, or working with like processing dimensions. During the first day, we were discussing the add-ons and the advanced capabilities that help users get more data, like to expand the coverage in a way that they can collect more data with more visuals, or collect data with the help of audio monitoring. Okay, so let's get the roll bowling. And before I jump into the first slide today and into the first add-on, I'd like to ask my colleagues to share with you the LinkedIn event that is going to happen next week, where our co-founder Alexey Orab and our head of science Zhenya Terpil will be having a webinar on the Social Lab platform. They will be talking about our recent feature that we launched, which is Insights Copilot, which is a ChatGPT based assistant. So I will ask my support team members to share the link to the event during the presentation. Thank you, Alina. Thank you so much. So guys, feel free to join the event. It's gonna be pretty insightful. They will talk a lot about how AI can complement your current your current general monitoring, like what type of questions you can ask the AI, how it's technically built, etc. We will actually cover some of these points today as well by the end of the webinar. However, I would highly suggest you to join the Social Lab webinar as well. So let's dive in. So our very first tool that we're gonna cover today is the data sampling. So imagine you work with your usual monitoring is kind of like fitting into the limits that you have in your account. Let's say it could be like 10,000 mentions per month, or 100,000, or 300,000, whatever. But there might be a chance that you need to run some market research, or you need to analyze a certain situation that has a way bigger amount of mentions that your current limitation can allow. In this case, we have an add-on which is called data sampling, and which actually helps you collect sample data. So it works in a way that you simply decide what is the percentage of the sampled rate, and you get, let's say, 1 out of 10 mentions into your topic, or 1 out of 20, 1 out of 100 mentions. Statistically, it's good not to work with every single mention. First of all, it's enough to have 20% of the entire data to make some analysis and to find insights. However, within our tool, which is extremely great, is the fact that in the topic itself, you will see the sample data, but the analytics that you have in the analytics tab will be applied to the entire amount of mentions that you see on the preview. So let's dive into it. So first of all, let's see how we can set it up. So it's pretty easy to do. Okay, I don't have enough space. I'm running out of space. I'm so sorry. I wasn't prepared for the webinar very well. So now I should have a space. Yeah. So let's imagine we want to create a topic dedicated to ChatGPT. It's obvious it's going to be like an insane amount of mentions, but I will just narrow it to United States and look at the preview. So I'll get like more than 500,000 mentions, which is big compared to like what type of limits I have in my personal account. So I need to somehow size it to 300,000. What I can do is I can like simply toggle the data sampling, and here I've got the line where I can play with the percentage of the sample data and lower it either like to the maximum that fits my limits or even lower. In my case, it could be somewhere in the middle, like I can go with 43%, or I can go even lower, like 25, but not more than, let's say, 43, right? So what happens next? Let's do just quickly 10%. So you just give the name to the topic and then you create, right? So what happens now? You'll get out of like this more than 500,000 mentions. Once you create the topic in the mention stream, you'll see only 40 something thousand mentions. So you won't see every single mention. So it's going to be a random sample. However, I'm going to show you the prepared topic that I already have. So it says that I have 15,000, like almost 16,000 mentions in the mentions feed, right? But if I go to analytical part of the tool and I go through the analytics, I see, oh, this is not the correct one. For instance, just give me, let's do with this one. No, better this one, test. Yeah, so here in the feed, for instance, I see almost 100,000 mentions, but if I go to analytics, I will see way more. Like within the entire months, I will see, if I like calculate it, you'll see that the analytics applies to all 2.5 million of mentions. So which gives you an ability to analyze the entire scope of mentions that exist within certain huge topic. But when you go to the mention stream, mention feed, you will be working only within like this sample data that you predefined on the step of the topic creation. It's pretty straight. I think it's pretty straightforward, super easy to do. So if you have a plan to work with big topics, feel free to reach out to your manager and ask for access to this add-on. So let's check if we have any questions so far regarding the data sampling. No, not yet. So let's move to the next one. So the next tool is my personal favorite hidden gem, I would say. It's called Smart Tags. For some reason, probably not all our customers, they know about such an amazing tool that we have that can really like ease your daily monitoring tasks within the topic, at least if you work with the tags or if you struggle with irrelevant mentions. So what is the Smart Tags? Smart Tags is the AI-powered segmentation of the mentions, which learns from your own behavior how to, let's say, segment or segregate the mentions in a topic, which means, let's say you process, you need to process around like 1,000 mentions, like market yourself with a certain tag. And after you perform this action with 1,000 mentions, the system starts doing the same actions, but instead of you. So it learns from your behavior and it starts working in the same way you used to do that manually. There are certain use cases where you can apply such, let's call it, approach. I would say that the first and the foremost is extremely helpful with topics where you need to monitor brands that have names that are super common. For instance, I have this example for you in a topic. So let me show you first the topic without smart tags. So we have a company that is called Brunswick, right? And Brunswick is like super popular naming for many different things across the globe. For instance, it could be a company's name. In this case, it's the electronics manufacturer. It could be some diners in Arizona. It could be a county in the United States. It could be a city in Australia. It could be a province in Canada. Also, the Brunswick is about something about Duchess in UK. Let me show you the example, for instance, here. So this is a dimension saying that Carolina de Brunswick, that, you know, like all this news happening across the royal family, and on and on. Like there is an extremely huge amount of things that could be somehow related to Brunswick. And this is the case where it's extremely complicated to find all possible stop words, or to create the query in a way that we will have an absolutely clear and relevant feed in a topic. So here comes the smart tag. What you can do with the smart tags. So you don't need to come up with dozens or millions of stop words anymore. You don't need to create huge lines, like big lists of rules saying that, I don't know, like mentions from Pinterest that have certain pictures, or that is related to, I don't know, some paints, colors, or duchess or royal family, whatever. And then you just layer those rules one over another. So it just creates a lot of complications. Instead of that, you just simply like manually process 1K mentions with the smart tag add-on enabled, and then the system starts to realize what's relevant and what's not instead of you. So here is the updated version of the same topic, where I've run the smart tag feature. And as you can see, I'm in the all section. I just have a tag smart tag, which was predefined. And this is the tag that was taught by my behavior, right? And if I go through the mentions, I will see that these are exact mentions that I need, they are all related to the Brunswick as the manufacturing company of marines, yachts, fishing goods and stuff. So, and as you can see, there is like a green button enabled here, which says that the mention was processed by this smart feature. That's about it. So let's see if we have questions so far. No questions at this point. So I think it's pretty straightforward again. Another use case for the smart tags, it could be also like regular tags. You can, for instance, as you can see on this particular screenshot, you can come up with certain tags hierarchy, or certain tags that are specifically related to certain marketing campaign or certain part of the functionality of the tool. And you can teach the system also to recognize and to label those mentions all by her own. So now let's move on. Let me just clean the browser a little bit. And the next thing we have a question. So let me put the question out loud for you. Is the smart tag function automatic once it's enabled, or it is necessary to activate it? Well, first of all, we enable the add-on. Then you need to give us the, you need to explain to your manager what kind of tags you wanna train. And then we'll process this information from the side of our product team. Then you perform the manual cleanup of the topic once. And afterwards, like from the side of the backend team, they just launch it on their own and then it functions. So it's like kind of a mix of your manual work and our backend team to make the magic happen. Okay, so I hope I did answer the question. If not, feel free to reach out to your manager and she'll explain that in more details. Awesome. So the next part of the tool that we're gonna talk right now is the customizable reporting, which is also called custom dashboards in our system. And I'm sure like lots of you guys have seen it at least once, because in all our tariff plans, we have at least one dashboard enabled. So this functionality gives you the ability to create your own custom dashboards and present the data in the way you want it to be, I don't know, like to look like, right? So we do have the analytical section within the tool. We do have like PDFs, we have some digest, but it's all pretty fine. And if you have some custom cases, some custom requests from clients, then it's easier for you to build and broadcast or showcase your own dashboards. So let's dive in. Yeah, let me just quickly change the account. Yeah, so the add-on itself is placed here, and there are two options how you can work with this add-on. Is either create one of the predefined templates. So as you can see, we have 4 templates here. Once you create certain template, let's do like with customer experience, you will see the way it looks like, what type of data it represents. And once you hit on the use template, you just decide what topic to use. And then you see the already prepared templated report. However, you don't need to think that that's it. You can actually update the existing templated dashboard, and you can even like add more widgets, because here you'll probably see about 15 widgets, but you can go up to 30 widgets. You just need to click create the widget and pick up one of the widget and do your job, right? So this is the first approach. The second approach is to create the dashboard from the scratch, which gives you an absolute flexibility in terms of data representation. Also, you can add your logo here if you want to share it with clients externally and you want the logo of your company to be placed on the shareable version of the dashboards. Then you just need to pick up the topic again and create a blank dashboard. So to say, you will be redirected to the part where you see the widgets creation part, and then you start working with those. So let's quickly try to do at least one widget together. So let's do bar. And what's great about the latest version of the dashboards is that within one dashboard, you can actually combine the data from different topics. So I have currently the ChatGPT topic, and I can either create a widget based on one topic. Let's say I want to see the mentions and the sentiment distribution and group it in a certain way. But additionally, I can add a topic for comparison. So for instance, I want to compare it to, let's go with sampled webinar ChatGPT topic, right? And on top of that, you can even go deeper and you can filter out the information within a certain topic. So for instance, I want to check in the first topic, what I want to represent is going to be negative sentiments coming from YouTube, and for the second, I want to do something different. I mean, it's not concise, of course, it's not consistent. Let's do positive. And again, YouTube. I mean, it's not the best way to represent the data, but I just want to showcase how you can play with the filters. So any sort of the filters that you have seen in the topic itself, it's all available here in the dashboards. And you can add pretty big amount of topics. I don't know, like work with dimensions, etc., etc. So pretty straightforward. Again, you just need to go into the dashboard, like click on it, slice and dice, try it several times yourself, and you'll get the idea of it pretty easy and pretty quick, I would say. Yeah, so that's about the customizable reporting. If we don't have any questions, and I see that there are at least no questions at this point, we can move on to the next slide, which is another way of customizable reporting, and which is actually API. Yeah, I have another question from Leonardo again. So let me put it out loud again. In competitor analysis, is it possible to personalize colors by topic? Not yet, from what I remember. If I'm mistaken, guys from YouScan team, could you please elaborate more detailed on this question, please? Yeah. Okay, so let's move to the API. So we just discussed the ability to do the reporting in the YouScan and share it with your clients, because all of our custom dashboards, they are shareable via URL link, so you can send it to anyone who's outside of the YouScan, who doesn't have the access to YouScan. You just have to like copy the URL and send it to, let's say, your client or your colleague that from the other department that doesn't have the access to YouScan, and they will be able to see the exact dashboard that you prepared. But in some cases, you might have an internal BI solution where you are either required or you feel more comfortable to build the reporting there. And for this purposes, we do have an API. And we actually do have two types of API. So one of the types is the statistics. It's the API through which you get all type of data, like metrics from topics, like number of mentions, breakdown by sentiments, engagement, what else? Like anything that you see in the analytics. And the second one is the advanced API, which provides a full stream to the mentions, like the entire mention with the whole, like the entire text and all emojis and all like engagements and stuff gets just transferred through the API into your internal BI tool. The important thing to mention here is the fact that to work with the API, you need to be a little bit like tech savvy, I would say, or you will need an engineer from your side to connect it to your BI tool or to build this connector, because there are different ways how you can fulfill this task. I can't give you like technical details. I'm not that tech savvy. I'm not an engineer. So if you need this sort of functionality, you will definitely need somebody from your side to fulfill this integration. Yeah, let's see if any other questions arise while I was explaining the part of the API. If not, we just move to the cherry on the top, to the very next slide and very recent update that we implemented in the tool. Okay, so let's move on. And last, our cherry on the pie is the Insights Copilot. I'm sure you guys have seen the Insights Copilot in your accounts. It's available for everybody as the part of your current subscription. Let me give a little bit of technical details, like the way it was technically implemented and developed. So as I mentioned earlier on this call, the Insights Copilot is a ChatGPT powered assistant. It's like GPT-3, if being precise, powered assistant, but it's not only based on the technology of the ChatGPT. It's actually a combination of ChatGPT and our own AI that we always had in the system. So I'm absolutely sure that you work with our AI smart segmentation, like auto categories, like sentiment detection, subjects, aspects, etc. So this is our in-house built AI. And on top of that, we decided to like empower it with the ChatGPT technology. And now you can not only like scroll into your own assumptions using our AI, but also ask ChatGPT to process dimensions that you have in a topic. Let's take a look at it. So I'll probably already, not already, but right away answer your question, like whether it's the fresh data that you see in the Insights Copilot once you hit one of the buttons here, because there might be a concern regarding the fact that in the ChatGPT itself, once you ask something, the ChatGPT, the technology gives you the answer based on the data that was fed to the system up till 2021. So it's like the system, like ChatGPT, doesn't know nothing about the recent elections in the United States or in Turkey or whatever. So the system knows just the facts that existed before 2021. But since we build it into the existing technology, like YouScan technology, it can process, it can, let's say, eat dimensions that you have in the feed and just process it, analyze it, and give you the answer based on the dimensions you have in the exact topic. Like here, I have a topic for ChatGPT, right? So let's see what we can do with what we can do about that. So we have a predefined set of questions here, like how you can analyze the data. We have the most like frequently asked questions, so to say, and we have a spot here where we can ask our own personalized questions. In all of the cases, you'll need like to wait probably like from 10 to 30 seconds to get the response, because the technology need to run the analysis and it might take some time. So let's see what we will get in terms of news summary. So once I click on a certain button, the technology starts analyzing the data set. And as you can see, what's great about the Insights Copilot is the fact that it's not, it does not make the analysis randomly based on everything that exists in the topic. So our predefined questions that we have on in the first block, they are based on our internal AI technology. So in this case, it's not the best example. In this case, it just goes through news, blogs, and posts. But if I go to, for instance, let me get back. Okay, it needs time to consume my request. If I, for instance, would choose, like, can you analyze the sentiments? Then the system, like this technology, will firstly pick up the mentions that are identified with a certain sentiment by our own in-house AI, and then on top of that, it will run the analysis of the ChatGPT technology. So we have the first question is ready. So my question was, what are the breaking news about our brand or the industry? And you get certain analysis, like certain summary with the examples. So let's say ChatGPT is a state-of-the-art AI language model being used in the major companies such as Microsoft and OpenAI to improve their search engines and web browsers. And I can hit on the examples and I will get dimensions based on which the ChatGPT made this conclusion. So again, pretty straightforward. I mentioned that many times. And again, you can go with these questions, or you can ask something personalized like, will ChatGPT destroy, I don't know, market. I don't know. Maybe it's a strange question, but still you can go with such questions. Of course, we would highly recommend you guys to build up your questions more precisely. Try to avoid some vague and very generic questions like what's happening in the industry or like what's happening in general. It's better always to go deeply into certain scenarios or cases. Let's say, what is the trend let's say on Reddit, like what people say about ChatGPT in a negative context on Reddit. This gives the assistant like more narrowed paths, what type of mentions to choose and how to analyze them. Yeah. Okay, so what else here? You see the history, you can copy the answers from the assistant and you can, I don't know, paste it in the email or in your reporting, whatever. Cool, awesome. That's actually basically it for today. It was pretty short and concise webinar. Let's see if anyone has any questions left. While you guys probably process the information that I just showed you, I want to stress once again that feel free to reach out to your managers to request the access to any of the advanced capabilities we have, which includes not only what you just seen here, but also like visual insights, audience insights, audio monitoring, etc. So there is a bunch of things you can test during the entire month and probably afterwards complement with your current subscription. And also never hesitate to contact us via chat. Our amazing support guys, they will be also happy to help you to navigate through the advanced features or to answer some additional questions related to this section, like to these tools that we have in YouScan. This webinar was recorded, so after the recording will be processed, we will send you all the links to the first webinar and to the second, so you'll be able to watch it once again or to share with anyone within your team. And yeah, that would be it. So thank you so much for your time once again, and let's keep in touch.